Well, today we have Jim McGough, and Jim has a 1954 Chevrolet pickup, and this is one of, he would call it a barn truck. It's kind of in the original condition, the way he bought it, and we'll show you some of the things so you know what he's starting with. You want to tell us about how you acquired this one, Jim?
Well, when I wanted to buy a pickup, I wanted a 54 specifically because if you look at the grill here, it's much different than the other grills in the early 50s Chevrolet trucks. And when I put an ad in the paper, I had a call from a fellow in South Dakota said he had one in his barn. And after getting a description from it, I decided it was worth going looking at. So I went down there and I ended up buying the truck because it's pretty much completely rust-free. And brought it home, and when digging around in the glove box, I found the name of another person that used to own it. So I called this other person, and here it was a game warden in South Dakota. And he says, yeah, I used to own that truck. He says, when I was a game warden down in Tennessee, he says, I took that off of one of the good old boys down there poaching. And when I moved to South Dakota, I brought it up here with me, but he says, I found out that it was no good for driving around out in the sloughs with this truck, so I sold it. Anyhow, the truck was pretty much rust-free. The good old boy that had it down in Tennessee repainted it in the 80s. It was originally a blue car. And if you want, I'll show you here. I'll get the hood open. You can see the original color underneath the hood there.
On the firewall.
On the firewall. So the truck was originally blue, and he painted it red. Now this looks like primer, but it's just faded red paint is what it is. And the truck is virtually rust-free, which is unusual, and it's pretty much dent-free.
It looks like it.
What I've done on this truck only is I put the tires on it and the wheels, which you can see are not the wheels that belong on the truck, but it's something to have on there while I'm driving it before I restore it. The interior of the truck had been full of mice, which will happen in the barns. It sat in the barn for about 10 or 11 years down in South Dakota. And the guy that restored it or repainted it in the 80s, he also put new interior in it. And we can take a look at it, but it's pretty dirty right now from the mice and stuff, but I've cleaned it up enough at least to drive the truck around a little bit. They also put whoever had it, put an AM/FM radio in there, and in order to do that, because it's 12 volt, he had to put a converter in there to convert it, the power from 6 volt to 12 volt. The 54 Chevy pickup was the first year for the full oil pressure system in the 6 cylinders, and that's part of the reason that I wanted it, was to have the full oil pressure system.
And this is the last year for the 6 volt.
That is true, yes. Mm-hmm. That is true. But it's an excellent truck to start with because it's all they really got to do is take it apart and clean it up, and I've redone the brakes and stuff like that there so that they're in shape, and I've actually taken the motor and resealed all that and the transmission, so that work is done too.
Okay, Jim, well, we thank you for the introduction to this pickup, and I'm anxious to see what this is going to look like in 12 months?
No, this is third in line.
Oh, that's third in line. Okay, well, thank you, Jim.
So it's going to be a while.
Thank you, Jim.
Yep.